So you got us all separately, and that was just to prepare you for a joint review where we're all going to talk really loudly over one another. We are collectively going to review Batgirl Endgame. So since it's such a big event, most of the Bat titles are having a little tie into it as well. Detective Comics had one last week, and this week's it's Batgirl, and it's fly as hell. Nix?
It's fly as hell.
Director?
It's fly as hell.
Written by... Oh yeah, not on the first page, huh? That's messed up. It's written by the usual team of Cameron Stewart and Brenden Fletcher, but this issue, the art and the coloring, is actually handled by the French artist Bengal as opposed to the normal artist Babs Tarr.
I just want to interrupt you and say I really like his name because it reminds me of a tiger. That's all.
Alright.
Reasons to read comics number one.
If you like tigers,
I always
you'll
forget
like
it.
this.
Was Bengal the one that married his mistress?
They both painted occasionally. And it's lettered by Jerry K. Fletcher before we get to... Hey, Fletcher and Fletcher. I wonder if they're related. Before we get off topic. This Batgirl is a tie-in to the current Batman arc that's happening right now, Endgame, where the Joker has basically decided that because Batman has denied his friendship and his love and his presence, that Joker is going to show Batman how mortal he is, how fallible he is, and he's just going to destroy everything he loves. What's probably the flyest about it, the most fly? The thing from hell, which is the most fly of this issue, is that the whole issue is without dialogue. It's amazing. All we get are texts and little speech bubbles that have like emotions in it, but not any actual dialogue.
Hip kids call them emojis.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah.
What are you, 90?
Yeah. Step off, Steven.
Don't say that. Kenny Schmidt.
I've lost the strength.
No dialogue, just emojis.
Just beautiful art. Beautiful, beautiful Bengal art. And I think that's what makes this issue so beautiful. Because it's a great Batgirl issue on its own. But the fact that Stewart and Fletcher were able to write such a brilliant issue without having any dialogue in it, which can be really difficult, I think just speaks volumes for how talented this creative team is. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm going to pass the conch so someone else has to speak.
So I'm not following the Batgirl universe.
Which is a shame. A damned shame.
Although I should be.
Oh. Should've waited for that, huh?
And I saw the number one, and I was like, oh, number one, I want to follow Batgirl, I'm going to start reading it. And then I read it, and I was like, what just happened? And then I read one shot, and I was like, oh. I actually really enjoyed this as just like a little snippet one shot. It was totally worth picking up, totally worth looking at, because I didn't read it.
I was like, you also didn't pay for it.
I also didn't pay for it. Well, I pay for it in different ways that is not appropriate for YouTube. But I think what really made this so successful was Bengal's art. It's so crisp and dynamic that you really, you never lose the energy that you would expect to lose without the text, without the actual story. This is probably, in terms of art and illustration, one of my favorite issues that I have ever read, ever. The references for the emojis and whatnot, and they're really seamlessly integrated. I'm kind of a crotchety old man and really kind of a purist. Well, not really. I'm sort of very, specific when it comes to comics, and I tend to stray away from the hyper-modernization of trendiness in comics, but the emojis, they just feel really clean. They just feel like a really useful, great tool to carry out the story. So, anyways, I'm going to pass it on down that way to the director.
Okay, well, I just want to build on what Nix was saying on 2 points. The first one is how amazing, well, Guy said it too, I don't want to leave him out of this. The art is awesome in this, and I maybe sometimes when I was reading this got a little wrapped up in the art and kind of forgot what was happening in the story, so I'd have to go back a couple panels or a couple pages. But I had no problem with it because it's just so wonderful looking. And secondly, this new Batgirl is sort of pretty hip, right? I read 36, right, when the new creative team came on, and she's really hip.
Yeah, it's almost a little overwhelming, the first couple issues, how hip everything is. It's Twitter reference, what's that? Oh man.
Tinder.
That's it. How did you know? That's what I was, yeah, Tinder reference.
See, this is where I get lost.
Everyone's on the computers, what?
Since she is so modern, since she is so clicked in with technology and whatever, I just really like that they used the emojis in this issue as like dialogue essentially.
Yeah, because it wasn't. It was. This was a seamless integration.
Right.
Like,
It happens like 3 times in the issue, so it's not even like it happens all that much. But I really, really liked it, and I thought, oh, this is perfect for her. That's it.
That's it. So, scores.
I have to give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Give it a fist bump.
No, I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. You know what? 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 because it's really well done, and I really can't fault it for not being that important because again, it's a one shot. So a 9. Director.
Bringing the average down, I'm gonna give it an 8 because I gave it a lot of bumps up points wise because of how creative the issue was in terms of like not using dialogue, not being dialogue driven. So I really, really liked. Part of the reason I didn't like it is it felt kind of short, number 1.
Okay.
And number 2, it felt like everything that Barbara did was like really easy for her. Is that how it always is? Since I don't read it normally. Is it just because it's a one shot?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
That's it.
Thanks for
tuning in.
Remember who you are and what you are.
Oh, we're doing this again?
Well, because I figured maybe we can do this as just a separate little thing we post afterwards.
Okay.
But I was going to do it just real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember who you are and what you are. Don't go causing any trouble out there in that crazy world. And, read Superman.
Read Superman.